Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. We open our Sidurim from Hadash. Shabbat shalom. Nice to see you so far. We're going to open our Sidurim on page 128.
שבת כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת כולם גם יחד.
טוב
ומה נעים,
שבת כולם
גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
What a joy is to welcome Shabbat here at Shir Hadash, to welcome Shabbat in community after all the winter break journeys.
And the first Shabbat of 2023.
And the first Shabbat of, it wasn't like January 1st, wasn't on Saturday?
No, it was a Sunday.
Okay, that's that.
So hence the first Shabbat of 2023.
No, she's totally right. Like, you're right. So the first Shabbat of 2023, almost a Shana Tova opportunity. And it's good to see those that are coming back from journeys. Welcome back. It's good to see you back home. And it's nice to see your faces. And for those that are coming back from journeys, we're farther in the rainforest, and we had the great opportunity to reconnect with nature. It's so beautiful to be in touch with the wonders of nature. And Shabbat is itself an invitation to be in touch with the wonders, the many wonders that we encounter in our lives, starting by the wonder of time, the time that we have been gifted. We will turn our Sidurim to page 129 as we acknowledge this loving gift. Ani ledodi vedodi li, I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine.
Dodi li v'ani lo harohem b'shoshani. Dodi li mizot olam min hamidbar, mizot olam min hamidbar. Dodi li v'ani lo harohem b'shoshanim. Dodi li mekuteret mor, mor ulevona, mor ulevona. Dodi li, dodi li, dodi li, v'ani lo haroem b'shoshanim. Dodi li.
And now, yes, we will light Shabbat candles. I'd love to invite Elman to join us in the blessing that you can find on page 120.
Should I read the English?
You can. But for the blessing, you can light the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos. Thank you, Sarah. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 130. Lechu nenanena, we walk to welcome in Shabbat with joy.
Hu neranena l'Adonai, nari'a letzur Yishenu, nekadma fanav b'toda bizmirot, nari'a
קדמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נהריה לו שירו לאדוני
Page 131.
שיר חדש שירו לאדוני כל הארץ שירו לאדוני ברכו מאמו בזרו מיום ליום ישועתו ספרו בגויים כבודו לכל העמים נפלאותיו ילאי לי 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 ילאי לי לי ילאי לי 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 Page 132. אדוני מלך תגל הארץ, ישמחו איהים רבים. אור זרו על הצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה. Those that are seekers of a straight path, seekers of connection, seekers of mitzvot, find within their hearts connection and light. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 134. As we ask and we try to allow each one of these psalms become a step in a stairway and help us rise to the experience of welcoming Shabbat, of entering this palace in time. Sambrula Adonai, page 134. One more song before Lechadodim, Psalm 29, Mismor LeDavid. And for those that are not familiar with the melody is actually such a simple one. We have sung it together several times, but we will teach it again, I think.
By all
Goes
means.
Yes. With us. Part one. Is part two. את שמו ישתחוו לאדוני באדרת הקודש כל אדוני העמים אל הכבוד עירים אדוני על מים רבים איי די 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 די
These words you know.
Shalom. That's how Psalm 29 seals, inviting us to find the blessing of peace. And that's the blessing that we ask to enter Shabbat as we turn our Sidurim to page 138 for Lecha Dodi. We come to welcome the Shabbos bride, asking to find its beauty and its peace.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמע וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. וראש מקדם נאסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שתדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לא תבושי ולא תיכלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי. בך יחסו עניי ימין, ונבנתה עיר על תילה.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As we have welcome Shabbat, we want to encourage you to take a moment to welcome each other, to say Shabbat Shalom, to move around the room. Now, if you want to say Shabbat Shalom to Cantor, you need to come to her. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kala. Ay, ay, pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekabela. We don't see the room around, but we also welcome our swimmers, Gatos and Ida and Fern, and Barbara is not there anymore, but we still remember that she was here around.
Yes, she was here.
Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kala. Ay, ay, pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Ay, 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 Shabbos, Shabbos, friends, and as you are standing, you can remain standing as we go straight forward to Chetzi Kaddish, and we are going to transition soon into Ma'ariv, so you can, if it is your custom, you can remain standing for Chetzi Kaddish, and then we're going to go all the way straight to Baruch.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. ועל מה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתך בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו,
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעל מעל מאיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחום. לעילה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעמה, ואמרו אמן.
As you are standing, we turn our Sidurim to page 146 for Baruch, the prayer that opens the gates toward the Shema. And so, the prayer in which we are invited to take a moment to acknowledge our community, and in the diversity of our community, seek for the unity of God.
המבורך לעולם
invite you to read together on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, putting light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name, ever-living God. May you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ama'ariv Aravim. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. Everlasting love, you offer your people Israel by teaching us Torah u'mitzvot, by giving us principles to connect to your world. I invite you as we get closer to the Shema to take a moment and close your eyes. Our tradition invites us to think about a source, a foundation of everlasting love in this world, and once we recognize that place, is that we can say that God is one, and that we are one with God. It is from that place in which we feel that the world is a gift that has been given to us. I invite you to think about what represents for you a source of everlasting love. It might be a memory. It might be a place or a landscape. It might be someone's loving smile or eyes. Let that image, that representation, become a light, and let that light surround you, embrace you, cover you as a prayer shawl, as a talit. And as you breathe, let the light of that talit, of that cover that is surrounding you, enter your system. And as you exhale, try to recognize that things that do not belong to you, and take them out of the system. Let them go. We bring light with our breath as we breathe in. And we exhale what doesn't belong to us. I invite you to take one more breath, a deep breath. And feel by that light, by that love, become one. בעבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Dear God, please never remove your love from us. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. We're on page 152 for the Shema.
Shema
Israel,
Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אמת, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. אמת באמונה כל סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, בן זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל. We continue with the silent reading over page 156. When your children witness your presence, they praise your name in gratitude and they accepted your sovereignty. Moshe, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices with joy. Who is like you, O God? Mi chamocha ba'elim, Adonai. We are on page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim, Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar ba'kodesh alarai. Nora tehilot osef elem. Nora tehilot osef elem. Malchutecha ahubanecha tokea hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam Adonai lo yoseh li anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yalai, lai, lai, la, la, lai. Yalai, lai, yalai, la, lai. Yalai, lai, lai, la, la, lai. Yalai, lai, la, lai, la, 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 lai. Yalai, la, 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 lai. Yalai, lai, lai, lai. Yalai, la, 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 lai. Yalai, la, la, lai.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני ליעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גל ישראל.
Turn our Sidurim to page 160. And I want you to notice something beautiful. And I know that I have said that several times, but we'll say it again. It's about the beauty of our liturgy. We recognize that in order to experience any kind of unity with the universe, we need to feel deeply loved. And then we say, well, there is some unity. Each of us find that unity in different ways. That's what we say in the Shema. We are all different, but God is one, and we are one with God in our diversity, in our differences. And then we say, Ve'afta. In order to walk our way through the world, we need to be able to actively love. You shall love. It's not only about being loved, it's about our ability to love. And what's the last prayer in the Shema, in the section of the Shema, Yesha sang it, Michamocha, which is the blessing for redemption, in which we say that the wall is sometimes complicated, that the wall sometimes feels like an unbearable obstacle and challenge, and that when we feel loved, when we have the ability to love, we also have the ability to step forward with faith and eventually overcome those challenges. And then in the evening we say Ashkiveinu. We ask to find the strength to face whatever we are dealing with in our lives with internal peace. We're on page 160.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Lahamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Lahamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Oshmot Zetenu,
Uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Ve'amidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Ve'amidenu shomreinu lechaim.
Ushmot Zetenu, Uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, Garden of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the holy city, the city of Shalom, the city of Jerusalem. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת. We remember that as we kept Shabbat, Shabbat kept us alive. And I want to say before we turn our theory into page 164 that the reason we sing Beshamru, the reason we remind ourselves before the Amidah, before the personal prayer, the prayer that we say in silence, that it is actually Shabbat, is because we are trying to appeal to a mindset of Shabbat. And sometimes when we get a minute of silence, we start counting our tzures. I have a pain here and I have a pain there, and in Shabbat we are invited to go beyond the tzures, beyond what's painful, and to connect with things that are in the realm of what feels sacred to us. Now, it's not defined in the Siddur. It's not written what's sacred to you or to you in the Siddur. But these words are an invitation, are a key for us to open our hearts and our minds and to try to find the words that we shall say, the Tfilah Shebalev, the prayer of our hearts. And with that, we will turn now our Siddur into page 164 for Tfilat Amidah as we appeal to find our Tfilah Shebalev, the prayer of our heart. Adonai, שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, Amidah in silence. תגיבור לעולם, זה מחיים אותי מתרב להושיע. משאיר הרוח ומורי הידאגה שמחיים. אתה קידשת, דיום השביעי לשם אחד. לא היינו, בלי אבותינו ואמותינו, רצינו חדינו קדשנו מצוותך ותנהגים עוד עבודך. ירד לבנו, ויציע אלוהינו, חסר ותפלדם בבתי כף. שלום רוע לישראל, עמך תשים לעולם. יהיו לרצון עם ברייפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, צורי בגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. עושה שלום במרומיו. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. And let us say,
Amen.
at the end of Tfilat Amidah, we had one more prayer. We think of those that are dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls. We think of those carrying grief. And we think of those dealing with addictions. If there's a name that you'd like to share, someone you are thinking of in this Erev Shabbat, would like to hear.
Richard Kennemer, Jack Long, Don Grin-Gorton, Bruce Roberts, Stuart Mass, Alfredo Massman, Diane Siegel, Jill Becker, Gail Frankel, Scott Van Gundy, Ed Stein, Gary Bronstein, Debbie Pink, Mira Engel, Jill Jacknow, Dave Stahl, Greg Herb, Ellen Herb, Michelle Winner, Murray Siegel, Lonnie Goldman, Richard Ravitch, former member of Shir Hadash, Bernice Paris, mother of Carol Paris, Adam Kaufman, Ian Ballard, friend of Allison Turner, Franklin Wolfson, son-in-law of Susan Deniston, Marcel Cunningham, mother of Liz Herman, Varda Sachi, mother of Naba Bernstein, and my mother, Riva Felder.
We're on page 371.
May the source of strength
of them, to all of you, to all of us. רפואה שלמה, והחלמה מהירה, a complete, full recovery, and let us say,
Amen.
I was getting used to it, Cantor. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Who knows just checking on you, who knows the name of this Torah portion? Vayechi, Vayechi. And every time that we have the word life in a Torah portion, as we learn, someone is going to die. That's and in this case, all of them, my friends, because this is the last Torah portion of the book of Genesis, so they will all eventually die. And tomorrow in Mincha, we will start with the reading of the book of Exodus. For those that are not familiar with how the Torah is read, the first reading of the Torah, of the weekly Torah portion, happens actually in the afternoon service of Shabbat. So the next Torah portion doesn't really start next week. It's like what we do in Simchat Torah, right? It starts before we go into the next week. And so we'll read a very short portion in the afternoon of Shabbat. Now, with all that introduction, now let's talk about what we wanted to talk with you today. The secret of a perfect family remains a secret, right? Families, families can be complex, difficult, dysfunctional, and what not. And it is particularly difficult to find a family that better fits this idea of complexity and difficulty and dysfunctionality than our ancestral family. The children of Israel, or Jacob and his 4 wives, or Jacob and his 12 or 13 children, depends how you count and who counts. There's no way around it. By all means, it's a lot. And in this Torah portion, Parashat Vayechi, Jacob's life, as we were saying earlier, and the entire book of Genesis will come to an end. In this Torah portion, we read the very vivid description of the scenes that aim to bring closure to an era. And so, complexity, difficulty, dysfunctionality, and vivid final scenes can describe the book of Genesis, and also can describe the experience of the insurrection at the Capitol today, January 6, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we witnessed the transition from anger to rage. We saw how the sacred can be profaned and harassed with the argument of protecting its holy character. 2 years ago, we witnessed our democracy bleeding, and it was truly, truly painful. Now, we can explain that bleeding as an accident. So, in that case, we would tell the injured, if necessary, to be more careful next time, or that accidents happen. But we can also recognize those vivid and difficult images of the capital as an illness. In that case, we should ask ourselves not only how to deal with the bleeding and the emergency, but we should also ask how to heal from what is making us sick. And so, I go back to the other vivid image, this moment around Jacob's deathbed in which all his children managed to be under the same roof in peace. And I wonder what ultimately made that peace possible. Jacob blesses his sons and assigns roles to all of them. But that's not it. With the blessings, there is also rebuke and accountability. Reuben, Shimon, and Levi are held accountable for their shortcomings. Reuben is rebuked for confusing his father's bed, or in other words, for lying with Bilhah, his father's concubine. Shimon and Levi, Simon and Levi, let's use their Hebrew names for our conversation, will be rebuked for the massacre of Shechem. The fourth child to be addressed will be Judah, who despite the mistakes he made in his life, has been able to reflect and rectify along the way, and so he's not rebuked, and rather he receives a wonderful blessing. Now, while there is no justification for their misbehavior, I do want to reflect on the environment in which they grew up and in which their actions took place. First, Reuben, Shimon, Levi, and Judah, are children of Leah, Jacob's not so favorite wife. The names of the first three reflect the difficulty of Leah's life experience. Reuben, Reu, see, I have brought you a child. Reu, Ben, will you, Reu, see me now? Shimon, Shema, God has listened to me. Will you, Jacob, listen to me? Will you notice me? Levi, from the word lelavot, God has accompanied me. Will you accompany me? Will you stand with me? Judah, Yehudah. Number 4, Odaya, gratitude. Yehudi, Jew, comes from that. I am grateful, says Leah, for my lot. It represents a shift in perspective, and so his life experience will be very different, and that's not going to be the case with his siblings. There's no shift in their life's experiences. The experience of unfairness, the search for being seen and listened and recognized, transfers to the next generation that translates it into lawless anger and violence. And so, once again, in the context of difficulty, complexity, dysfunctionality, anger, and violence, I wonder how it is possible that the book of Genesis ends with this, which is not a perfect, but a peaceful image. There's no perfect family here, but there's a peaceful one. A foundational stone that will allow us to move forward and eventually transition from being a family, which is the topic of the book of Genesis, to becoming a nation, which is the topic of the book of Exodus, the one that we are starting at the end of this Shabbat. How do we move from my nation, my God, to one nation under God? The picture around Jacob's deathbed is a very profound one. The children that are rebuked are not estranged. They are there. They're held accountable, and that accountability has a price. But they are standing under the same roof. There are blessings and there are roles. Their diverse identities and skills are acknowledged. There is one level of reconciliation as the siblings have been able to acknowledge their shortcomings toward each other, and there is a higher symbolic level of reconciliation as Jacob, in an earlier conversation, asked Joseph, child of Rachel, to assure that he will be buried with Leah. Jacob is buried with Leah, and he requests that from Joseph, the child of Rachel. I believe that this act of recognition is the fundamental stone for the children of Israel to ultimately become the people of Israel. Peace cannot be achieved when we deny each other's pain and narratives and without concessions. As a side word, in Hebrew, how do we say peace? Shalom. And how do we say to pay? Leshalem is the same word. Peace cannot be achieved without concessions. And while that's not the secret for a perfect family, it might be a formula to embrace the work of healing our country. May we be relentless in our demand for accountability. May we commit to the work of seeing each other, re'u, to the work of listening to each other, Shimon, Shema, to the willingness to stand with each other under the same roof, even when we disagree, Levi, Liva. And through that work of seeing, of listening, of standing with each other, may we find reconciliation. May we recommit to civil engagement and disagreement, so our democracy bleeds no more and rather heals and flourishes. And may we find the strength to articulate our gratitude, Yehuda, Judah, Odaya, for this beautiful country, which is not only a gift, but also our responsibility. On this January 6th, a somber day in America's memory, may this be our blessing. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue our service saying Aleinu, saying that it is on us to do that work, and we will invite all those that are under the age of 13 that will make it. So all those that are under the age of 13 to please accompany us on opening the ark and the parochet, so we are reminded of our Torah. We're on page 586. 87.
587, in case you missed that.
Aleinu
Aleinu
לשבח,
Ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. השמיים ויוסר הארץ, הוא יושב מתגלו לשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, ושכינתו זו, וגם הם מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ידעת היום, וידעת היום, והשב אותה אל לבביך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Acknowledge mourners among our community. If you are during the first 7 days of mourning Shabbat, please rise. It is on now. If you are during the first 30 days of mourning Shloshim, please rise. If you are during the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. Steve?
Bonita.
Thank you. Nika?
Mimi Levy.
If you have a yortzeit this week, the anniversary of someone's passing by this time of the year and years past, please rise and share with us who you're remembering.
The congregation offers its condolences to Greg and Heidi Isips on the death of Greg's father and Heidi's father-in-law, Shlomo Isips. We remember Howard Levine, Barbara Lombard, Claire London, Drago Herman, Merle Greenwald, Samuel Greenwald, Anita Komula, Bryce Lyon, Edna Stone, Miriam Davis, Lauren Janovich, Michael Clark, Janet Woe, Charlene Kilgore, Ezra Sachi, Gideon Hofer, Alvin Kramer Siegel, Velasta Vejanovich, Galina Buturina, Karen Embalzano, Lillian Berman, Robert Bruce Myers, Abraham Karras, Scott Safadi, Norman Green, Marilyn Silverman, Leslie Heinall, Paulette Sofin, David Green, Jeannie Porish, Estelle Abrams, Spencer Caney, Arthur Cherdak, John Ivers, Marilyn Handelman, Kay Dameron, Nira Marome, Andrea Cameron, Ziba Feruzin, Rosella Newton, Linda Sherry, Fred DeCastro, Sherry Skihan, Larry Eisen, Harry Gross, Michael Taub, David Schwartz, Rhoda Fryman, Elliot Foner Lipsitz, Ron Wolk, Adina Neer, Tamara Noten, Mimi Levy, James C. Price, Colette Kaplowitz, Rita Smith, David Corman, Richard Davidson, Leo Altman, Sidney Baker, Alexander Polk, Kenneth Berkowitz, Richard Klein, Belle Kernoff, Cambiz Joshua Simontob, Mel Jacobs, Mayor Robbins, Murray Kern, Chuck Rubenstein, James Petrie, Martin Samuels, Bradley Silverman, Nita Karnoff-Stein, Yona Talmor, Irving Victor, Helen Fabe. And now you can support our community by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avelut, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divrach yeruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
May the memories of your dear ones be always a blessing in your life. Yes, Ichram Baruch. You may be seated. Would love to invite our president-elect, right?
Yep.
To share we have a president in the room and a president-elect. Look at our democracy. Look at the democracy of Shir Hadash working perfectly. I had to.
Are you done? Okay.
Turn off that microphone.
Shabbat Shalom and Happy New Year. Thank you. I'm just going to highlight a few announcements, but you can see all of them on the back of your handout, and all events are on the website calendar. Tomorrow morning, January 7th at 9:30 a.m., Torah study in the chapel. Shabbat morning services follow at 10:30. On Tuesday, January 10th at 7 p.m., a special conversation with author Daniel Sokach. You can register on the website. That will be here. Wednesday, January 11th at 10:30 a.m., free meditation class taught by Shir Hadash member Marilyn Katz via Zoom. On Saturday, January 14th at 12:30 p.m., lunch and learn. Please register on the website. And Saturday, January 15th at... Oh, yes, Sunday, January 15th at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., depending on the project, is Mitzvah Day. Registration is open, so please do sign up. We have lots of exciting programming coming up, so here's a few highlights. Thursday, January 19th at 11:30 a.m., Nashim, Remarkable Jewish Women Lecture and Lunch. You can register on the website. Wednesday, January 25th at 6:30 p.m., new song, sing-along. Come learn new Shabbat songs. I'm looking forward to that. Friday, February 3rd at 6:15 p.m., Shabbat Shirah with our choir. And Friday and Saturday, February 10th and 11th is our Scholar in Residence with Rabbi Dr. Shmuley Yanklowitz. And Friday and Saturday, February 24th and 25th, Shabbat Worship Workshop during Shabbat services. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. And I do want to re-emphasize that the fact that we have these two giants coming to Shir Hadash It's a real privilege. The fact that Daniel Sokach is coming next Tuesday to study with us and to share his thoughts about Israel with us and to present his book is a real gift to Shir Hadash to our community. Doesn't matter what your thoughts about Israel are, it's a great opportunity to engage in conversation and in study and to have an important conversation. And also the visit of Rabbi Shmuley Yankelovich that is possible through the generosity of the Levin gift gift to scholar and residence gift to our congregation. It's a great, great opportunity to study about the connection between social justice and Judaism, how mitzvot can be a part of our life, and how this rabbi embodies those mitzvot. It will be terrific. Please make sure that you join to as many events as you can.
Lots
Kiddush.
of things going on.
Yes. On page 122, we invite you to please rise for Kiddush if you are not broken. Or you can rise in your spirit, in your legs, or whatever works. וירד בבוקר יום השישי, ויחול השמיים בארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, you can say לחיים.
L'chaim.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפם. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא הקודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
L'chaim.
And I will conclude our service sharing blessings. So we make sure that you are in touch with someone. You make eye contact with someone, or that someone is standing next to you. We make sure that nobody leaves this space without sharing a blessing. What? I like your beard. I always do. So, what can we do? So it is particularly meaningful that this is the Shabbat in which we acknowledge the end of the book of Genesis. And the book of Genesis concludes by our father Jacob sharing blessings with his children. And our children, they are different. They do different things. They act in different ways. And it is a great opportunity that we have in Shabbat to share blessings with each other and to acknowledge the relationship, the love that we bring into the world, and that upon which the world is created, is constructed. We say to our children, Yasimchem Elohim k'Efraim v'k'Menashe, Yasimchem Elohim k'Sara, Rivka, Rachel, Belea. May God inspire you to be like the fathers and the mothers, the loving parents of the house of Israel. We say to all of them, Yevarechechem Adonai ve'ish merechem. May God bless you and protect you. Adonai panav elechem bichonekem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Isa Adonai panav elechem. May you find within you God's presence always, and may God bless you with the ability to see, with the ability to listen, with the ability to stand next to each other, even when you disagree, and with gratitude, with the ability to find gratitude, Yehuda, Odaya, within your hearts. And finally, ultimately, may God bless all of us with its most important gift, the gift of shalom, of internal peace. Be'asem lachem shalom. And may God bless all of us with peace. אדוני עוש לעמיו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. שבת שלום, שבת שלום מבורך, everybody. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, חסין לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, חסין לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב ישראל עמך, חסין לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, חסין לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך, חסין לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, חסין לעולם. חסין לעולם. Good Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, cantora.